This is Christian Gomez with the New American Magazine, and on the show with us again is Heather Hobbs, pro-life speaker with Save the One, an organization, of course, dedicated to pro-life causes without any exception. Heather, welcome back.
Thanks for having me again, Christian.
So, Heather, you recently were at the March for Life rally in Washington, D.C. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience there?
The March for Life was a life-changing experience for me. I actually have wanted to go for the last 5 years, but I always had a child in the hospital. And so this year I told my children, don't none of you get sick because I'm going. I'm going this year. And it was amazing because out here in Oregon, as you can imagine, sometimes it feels like a one-man battle at the Capitol fighting for life because Oregon is the only state in the entire country that has zero restrictions on abortion. In fact,
Wow.
even teenagers, 12-year-old girls, they can have an abortion and never tell their parents. There's no parental consent required, no education required, no waiting period. So here, fighting for life can be a challenge. And getting to go to Washington, D.C., and seeing hundreds of thousands of pro life people from all over this nation, this beautiful country, it was so revitalizing to my spirit. It made me feel really renewed and ready to face this battle head on again.
So, what other members of the pro-life community did you personally get to interact with and talk with?
Well, I was really lucky. I actually got to talk with Senator Ted Cruz, which, was a wonderful experience. All of us at Save the One, we had our own little group and we got to take a photo with him. We got to meet activist mommy. I'm not sure if you're familiar with her page. She's really active online for conservative Christian families. We got to meet the Hodge twins? They're two twin brothers on social media, and they're also really active. And Rebecca Kiesling, our president, actually converted them to become no exceptions. They did support the rape
Amazing, awesome,
exception.
good, great work for Rebecca doing that.
It's amazing because that's essentially what we did is we were there to say, hey, the other 32,000 plus children a year conceived and raped also matter. And so we got to go to different leaders, Life Site News, Live Action News, Focus on the Family. There are all these leaders of great pro-life organizations there, and talking with them one-on-one, sharing about how my oldest was conceived and raped and about how our son Gideon was guaranteed to die. Those experiences help them see that abortion is never necessary for any circumstance.
So,
And oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, so this gathering wasn't one of these meet and retreat sort of events where conservatives get together, they meet, they talk a good talk, and then they go home and do nothing. But in your case, that was not the case. You yourself, of course, and Rebecca Kiesling and those of Save the One were able to influence others in the pro-life community to take a more tougher stance on the pro-life cause. So that is great news. Did you get to influence other key individuals in the pro-life community as well, besides those two twin brothers that you mentioned?
Yes. So, like I said, we actually participated in the Law for Life Summit. And this was all about teaching the legalities and legislative measures, how to get pro life bills passed. And Rebecca Kiesling is an attorney. So we were able to go in front of all of these pro life people from a legal perspective and the right to life leaders and just share that, we are here to support them in the no exceptions instances to help basically push for the Rape Survivor Custody Act, which is something that we personally have created at Save the One, which basically mandates a rapist cannot gain rights to their biological child.
Has
And
that been enacted in any state legislatures or other like that?
yes, yes, it's been passed in a few states, Michigan, Iowa. I don't know all of them right off the top of my head, but we do have several states that we've got it passed in, and we're working on several more right now.
And
And
where could those watching learn more about that particular legislation?
so we are very active on Facebook with Save the One's page. And then also on Heather Hobbs Pro-Life Speaker, I will often share Save the One news and updates. We also, the March for Life isn't just the march. There's actually a few days leading up to and then after where there's an expo and there's a lot of trainings, and you get to hear speakers. It was wonderful. We got to see President Donald Trump speak right
Yes,
there.
and this was the first time that a sitting U.S. president spoke and attended a March for Life rally. I believe last year, Vice President Pence attended. So, what was it like to hear the U.S. president there giving support to this cause? And what were your thoughts on President Trump's remarks and stance on the pro-life issue?
So it was absolutely amazing to hear his speech. If you go and look through his speech, he very clearly says all babies deserve protection, every child. He was very inclusive. He didn't say most of them or some cases. And so Save the One
So the
definitely,
language was really learning in that no exceptions direction that yourself and Save the One clearly endorse and advocate for.
yes, it was very pleasing to hear. And as I said, we were able to interact with many leaders, politicians, right to life leadership, lawyers. There's so many organizations that show up for this. And so we were so blessed to do interviews. I did an interview with Focus on the Family on behalf of No Exceptions. They have a hashtag called Why We March. And if you click on that hashtag, you'll get to see, tons of stories. Students for Life, they had an excellent turnout. I'm not sure if you're familiar with David Daleiden. He is the one out of
Yes.
California that was being. For me, he's being bullied by Planned Parenthood. He exposed the corruption undercover for a few years, and now he's the one being penalized and charged fines. Planned Parenthood's not being attacked at all when they broke the law, and he proved it. So I got to meet him in person, and we're set up to talk later. I got to meet just a lot of great people and talking about No Exceptions the entire time. When someone sees, like, firsthand in your face, someone who says, "This is my story," it's much harder to discount and disregard those exceptions, because when people hear 1% of all cases of abortion are for rape, that sounds like a tiny number, but when you say over 32,000 a year at least, that's a much larger number to them. And so that's what I was able to do. I was blessed to be able to speak on behalf of women like myself and children like mine.
And for those watching the program it might be their first time tuning in to your interviews here in the New American, can you just briefly tell us why you are with no exceptions pro-life advocate? Just a little bit of your backstory.
Absolutely. So, as some people already know, and as you know, three of our four children were urged by doctors to be aborted. I was raised a very liberal, pro choice atheist, and I thought that abortion was all about a woman's right to choose. I also believed that it was rare and it was only for those situations that were really dire. And I I wasn't ever confronted with abortion personally until I conceived a child through rape. And that doctor said, "I don't believe in abortion in any situation but this." And that changed my stance. Having my daughter, seeing the amazing, perfect child that she is. I mean, she's been easy since birth. Even when she was teething, she was still happy, and she never had terrible twos or threes. She's always been an angel. And
Amen.
she led me to Jesus Christ, and that was a huge blessing. And then my next child was I was told he was a threat to my life, but he actually wasn't. And then my third was guaranteed to die. So I finally saw that doctors are targeting, high risk pregnancies and just recommending abortion as an easy way out. But abortion does not treat any disease. It doesn't cure anything. And so that is what prompted me to speak out for life, is my own personal experiences.
So now, having coming back from the March for Life rally, being all being having that excitement of being there, what do you hope to accomplish this year yourself as a pro-life speaker, and also Save the One as an organization? Just really briefly.
We are fighting for the Rape Survivor Child Custody Act. We are advocating for No Exceptions, the Born Alive Act. We hope to really gain some major momentum this year and to continue to help women and grow as an organization. So people can find me on heatherhobbs.org or on Facebook, savetheone.com as well. and we are booking really far out. So I think this year is going to be huge, fighting for all children without any discriminatory exceptions.
Okay, thank you so much for being on the show with us, Heather. We wish you the best, of course, in this upcoming year, 2020. So take care, and God bless you, Heather.
Thank you. We'll see you next time.